So, this week I discovered that the person who brought my ancestor over from Ireland wasn't even born yet when they brought my ancestor over. I have been spending the last week doing a deep dive on my Irish and Scottish question mark ancestry. And it's been really fun. It's been like very detective like. It's been such a long time since I was excited about something and had like interest and energy to put into something where I could like lose time. You know what I mean? About a week ago, I was like, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna just deep dive into this. So that's been a really fun week. Um, I've stayed up way too late looking at Irish baptism records and marriage records while my eyes blurred at like 1 a.m. I still don't know, I still don't have the birth records for my particular great great grandfather, but I have learned a lot of things. So, family tradition. I don't know if you have ever tried to do an ancestry search, but there's the things verbally passed from generation to generation. And so I have this sheet from my grandfather's sister and what she shared with my aunt. It has really helpfully like some different names of people who were in the community. So like I know the community that my great great grandfather ended up in when he came from Ireland. Ireland question mark. but but I haven't been able to connect him and find birth records or like parental names or anything from his time in Ireland. But I have this group of names, and in the past when I have done this type of work, I've focused really hard on just his name. But the thing is about oral tradition is that like not everything is correct. So for instance, the person who supposedly brought my ancestor over, I discovered actually super helped by AI as I was like reigniting this process. I had worked on it a few years ago and came to a total dead end. But AI was like, Cousin Easter, who's supposed to have brought your cousin or your great great grandfather over, like, and been the one who, you know, brought him, she was born like 20 years after him. So it's been really interesting to use AI to help me sort through this process. It's been very helpful. Checking dates, inserting huge just lists of names and birth dates that I'm finding in Irish website records and just being like, could any of these make sense, instead of like doing the math for every single person. So AI has been invaluable with this. It's probably saved me a full decade of research, because there are things that get passed down in your family history that are not correct or just don't make sense, but you're not registering it all of the time. Like you're not, it's so much information to take in that keeping it organized in your brain is really hard. Actually, you know, I've spent hours and hours and hours on this, and I can just ask AI every so often, like, could you summarize what we actually know? Because, you know, there's a million rabbit trails. If you have Irish ancestry, or you think you do, and you've been curious about it but never really looked into it, or if you have tried in the past and just had a really hard time, let me know in the comments. I had never approached the ancestry deep dive in a community way before. Instead of laser focusing on my one ancestor who has this really common name, James Grant, I have been focusing on the group. With Scotch Irish family networks, a sponsor person is often bringing over multiple people at the same time. And the thing is, sometimes your ancestor will not have a lot of information about them, but you can find out where they came from because you're looking at the larger network. AI was suggesting to me ideas like, oh, here, this person has a lot more records. You should look into this person. And so it's this big pattern. So my strategy completely changed because I was conferring with AI. So for me, one of the most interesting things that I learned was that one of the people listed on the summary from my great aunt, yeah, was someone I actually could find records across in Europe for. And that person was born in Scotland. And I was like, because everybody else's records in America say Ireland. And it turns out that this particular person had a Scottish mother and an Irish father. I learned from AI that, oh, this was really common. During this time in the mid 1800s, there were a lot of working class people, working class men going from the Belfast area over to this certain area of Scotland. And there was, it's not a super long crossing of the ocean there. And so people would migrate back and forth for work. I found out that a lot of weavers were going back and forth, and it's pretty likely that there was weaving in my family history. And so I learned history that I didn't understand at all before. Just, I had in my mind, I knew that my name was Scottish, and it was like the Ulster Scots, and they had probably been living in Northern Ireland, but actually the Scottish connection was much more recent. I learned that probably things that were happening in the Industrial Revolution may have impacted my ancestor directly, because if he was in weaving, that's when the Industrial Revolution happened. And so a lot of weavers were losing their work because they had been doing this for generations, and now it had been taken over by machinery. So so many things that I wouldn't have known when I tried this before, and I wasn't getting help from AI to make the connections with all of these historical pieces and what was normal at the time. I was missing the plot. I was missing the larger connection. So anyway, I have not found my ancestors' records yet. I have found lots and lots of clues. It feels both frustrating and invigorating, I guess, to still be in this process after hours and hours and paying to be part of a couple of different record services online. There were a lot of pieces that clicked into place this round, and I understand a lot more than I understood before. And the history is fascinating. And as a person who likes historical fiction, imagining the lives of these groups of people and understanding more than just the names in records has been really fun. I would love to know if your ancestry is clear to you, or if you have all the mysteries that I have. I haven't been here for a week, friends. So here's my okay report. I'm Andy. I live in Portugal. I am going to tell you if I am okay today. So far today, on the okayometer, I definitely think, based on my Irish search, I am doing really okay today. I've learned so many interesting things. I'm proud of myself for doing something for myself that really doesn't have any use to you or anyone else. I mean, maybe it will. I hope it will give you some hints if you're doing an ancestry search. But really, I think I'm in the sunshine and rainbow, very leprechaun. Um, and that's just because I have given myself a break in the last week. I have not made myself push and push and push and be super consistent in this YouTube area of my life. I've given myself a break and I feel reinvigorated and I'm ready to come back and hang out with you more. So if you are interested both in understanding parts of yourself from ancestry, or if you're just interested in understanding parts of yourself by navigating these years in the 40s that can be really hard and can be about every single person except yourself. I just talk here about how to make it through these really intense years with a bit of joy, using things like micro joys, or using my practice of finding beauty. For me, deep diving into anything that can help me like lose time and be interested in my life again and reinvigorated, that's a way that I find the beauty. So I just want to encourage you, follow your curiosities today, follow your wonder. If you get any spark of wonder, don't set it aside, but follow it. You know, I mean, this felt like a time suck, a money suck a little bit, but it's just been so healing for me. And it's even just given me so much perspective on the hard things that people in my family line have lived through. And it shows me like they lived through it. I can live through hard times in history as well. So anyway, it's been very inspiring. I hope you find something to inspire you today, and I will see you very soon.